I'm really happy to have with me Miss Jackie from BLI. So, Jackie, could you introduce yourself and explain to everyone what is BLI about?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. It's always fun speaking with you. So my name's Jackie Cooper. I am an attorney and educator. I created the Blockchain Legal Institute, and it is a library of resources so everyone who's in our blockchain world can learn a little bit more about what they're doing in our space.
That's fantastic. So, BLI is Blockchain Legal Institute. And could you please give us a little bit of background about yourself and how you finally decide to work in BLI and, my curiosity?
So I started 10 years ago and I invested in an altcoin, and then I learned about Bitcoin, became a Bitcoin miner and an author of the Bitcoin Cinderella blockchain adventure stories. But I realized that there was a need for um, education in many different levels for different generations and also consumers. And so the Institute actually was created because of a problem that I saw and a solution that I wanted to solve.
Makes sense. Make total sense. Thank you so much. So the mission of BLI, it's, if I understand correctly, like you have the education part, bringing like a economy connection. Could you like show us or share
Yeah,
how this process is really profitable for everyone, from the curious to the professional?
yeah, I'll share screen because it's evolved over time. So here we go. All right. So basically, the Blockchain Legal Institute is a library, as I mentioned, and we have news information, we have tools, that links and resources are constantly being uploaded. We have an artificial intelligence side. We have information about cryptocurrency to include stablecoin now, blockchain use cases, research, the rules for all 50 states, as well as around the world. Not all 193 countries are listed yet, but by the end of end of the year, they will be. And then different associations. And we have partners that are helping us kind of share the word about the library. And we have on the homepage also a lot of information. We do 2 global summits every year. They're virtual, so that way individuals can, no matter where they are, can learn. They're in March and October. The next one is all about consumers and blockchain technology. The one right before it was about SRO sandboxes and economic zones, and we interviewed Commissioner Peirce. But if you scroll on down, you'll see that we won an award through Qatar for the most innovative award for corporate sustainability and responsibility, which was really
Congratulations.
an honor on that. And so really we have news that is happening around the world on our homepage, and we have a large growing community. So our whole focus is on education and empowerment really within our space. One of the areas that, I'll just mention is that we're doing a hackathon, a BLI Legal Tech Hackathon, and it's live on DoraHacks. We have $32,000 of bounties from Story, Constellation ICP, Elio, and some others are about to join. So we're going to have more bounties. And it's all about, how do we support those that are in the entrepreneur space as well as those in the regulation side. So I'm excited to, be offering this.
That's fantastic. Could you tell us a little bit more about the hackathon, like where and how to participate?
Yeah, so let's see if this changes over. Looks like I have to stop sharing and then reshare.
Okay.
So basically the hackathon is on live on DoraHacks, and it is very easy to become part of it. You can get to it through DoraHacks, or you can register. You can click on here and we'll go into DoraHacks in a second. But
Okay.
it's also a long-term hackathon. The projects can be submitted from now until October 31st, so you have time to think about it. The judging is November and December, with the bounties released at the end of December. So we have a lot of, like I said, support from the community. And we also know that there's a lot of ways to learn. So I've interviewed Story, I've interviewed Constellation and ICP, And they are, they're providing us with definitely ways for people who have never stepped into the hackathon space to actually um, learn and do, because that's all what it's about, doing a little bit and then, kind of putting your ideas to paper, or in this case, to code. So I'm going to kind of share again, and we'll be on DoraHacks. There we
All right.
go. So, yep. So you just go to DoraHacks, and right now we have 44
Great.
registered people, and it's increasing. Every day we have more hackers that are going on and decide.
It's impressive. I see you have like Internet Computer Protocol. I'm personally evolving with them, and I like what they're doing. And I see also Story Protocol, one of the biggest player now in intellectual property. This is huge. So it's open only for developers, right? Programmers.
It is open for developers, but if someone wants to be a sponsor and add another bounty, we have law firms that are coming on and offering additional bounties. We have other corporations, because they want to get the word out, and they also want to issue a challenge to the developers, say, solve this problem for me.
Yes.
And the developers, what they might not realize, or maybe they do, is that in their creating a solution, that might end up being another commercial application that will propel them into, having other income.
Yes.
So, this is definitely career development.
Thank you, Jackie. So let's go through. I have a couple of questions. I'm really curious about what happened today in the market and in the ecosystem. So, exclusively the rise of AI, right? I'm sure we hear AI, AI, AI. This is a buzzword, annoying, but this is unfortunately a reality. So AI has undeniably like created new frontiers, right, for creators. So from BLI's perspective, what are the most immediate and like significant collision points between like traditional intellectual property frameworks and the rapid advancement in AI generated or AI assisted content?
So what's really interesting about that question is this week, BLI participated in a legal a lunch and learn for Maryland Tech Council. And we actually had an individual, Scott Stornetta, who's very historic from the blockchain side, because he and his partner, Dr. Haber, actually created the tech that, everything kind of stemmed up, followed after that. He actually is concerned about the AI side from the deep fake side. And he actually is, he suggested at our lunch and learn that through the company that he's established called Suremark, that the approach for trying to figure out what are the deepfakes that are out there is wrong. There's not going to be a way to actually be able to determine that, but you work it backwards and you say, what's the truth? So basically, for example, our video of our lecture, our event that happened on Thursday, will in the next 2 weeks be part of a historic Suremark marking. So basically, we're going to be signing and saying that I, Jackie Cooper, participated in this, and this is my voice, and everyone else. So that way, it ends up being a reflection of what the truth is, as opposed to the reverse, where someone might splice and dice and then take the voice and say, okay, this is what she said, when in fact it had nothing. I never even said that. So what he's saying is that as creative artists and people go forward, they're going to be able to mark their content as what it is that they put down. So it will end up being a different way to prevent AI from distorting it. Now, again, there are all different adaptations. I know if you have a copyright, then, the copyright lasts a number of years and then you're in public domain. So it's going to be interesting to see how with AI, kind of like the whale eating the minnow, the whale is the AI and the minnows is all this other creative property that it's eating and digesting and then spewing back out. It's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening and how we actually protect the content.
Yes, thank you so much. I totally hear you. So if I understand correctly, today there is a lot of question marks about how we can like back the creators. I would love to hear a little bit your opinion. You're totally aware by what we push with Artizu, which is like intellectual property platform. We are open sourcing the platform, like you know, and BIP Quantum, the AI agent. So what is and like we see also Story Protocol and other players. So what is your vision? Do you think we'll be disrupting the conventional way to protect intellectual property, or maybe it's too? I don't think it's too early personally, but I would love to hear your opinion about that.
I think that we also have to, and you're already doing this, but we have to kind of redefine what is intellectual property. Everything that we do and think about is intellectual property. So at what point how are we, what is it that we want to claim for income? And what is it that we want to kind of share out and just have to be out there for thought and discussion? Because not everything that we write or that we maybe talk about, maybe we want to even make a claim that it should be income producing for us. So, but I think that if you are a creative artist, or you're doing something and you then have it taken and you're not given financial credit because that is your income, then we do have to think about how do we protect. It's the online world as opposed to the physical world makes it so much more difficult because things can spread so fast. And then how do you do accountability? So that's the challenge, because you can put out a beautiful piece like, a piece of stained glass artwork as your face, and then someone might like that and then take it and copy it and retool it. So I don't know. There's a lot of layers here, and I know that what you're doing is going to protect a lot of people. So
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of things going, and today everything is changing super fast. I was part of the WorldCoin event without like any advertisement. The company honored by Sam Altman, the
mhm.
ChatGPT co-founder, and they are trying to resolve it. The project disappeared, and he showed up again. So I have mixed feelings about the project, but the point is they are fixing the challenge to distinct the difference between a human and a bot. This is, I think, a first level. The second level will be to educate the AI about what is intellectual property, what is the difference between copyright and patent, what is plagiarism, what is real innovation. And AI today understand the terminology of creativity, which is like amazing. And I'm pretty confident in the future, maybe the next 2 years, like short future, we'll be able to certify AI creation prompted by human, because so far the AI is not generated content by itself, maybe soon, but with the AGI. But so far, I'm pretty confident these kind of projects will be able to probably make it easy. And the ambition here is to give the ability to any creator to list his intellectual property, his idea or innovation without like spending $100,000, like what we see today for patenting, right? So the mission you have today with BLI is, I see you travel a lot, you create connections. Is there like a really important top 3 mission you target, or you have the ambition to complete for the next year and you would like to share?
Yeah, I love that question. Because I have my hands in so many projects, so I'm constantly reframing in my head, what are the priorities? I really am all about professional education. I know that it is really difficult. And I am a practicing attorney, even though I rely heavily on the team that I work with in Cogent Law Group, for the nitty-gritty side. But if a young lawyer comes into our profession and they are trying to get a handle on the vocabulary because the tech is changing so fast, I really want to help with that continuing education for a comfort level, and to know what resources to go to that it says such a variety, which is why I created the Institute. to provide that background knowledge to service the clients that they have. Because a lot of times the clients also don't know what they need. And so they're relying on the professionals that they're hiring to be the problem solvers and the troubleshooters. And we can get them into trouble more than they can sometimes because we might give them incorrect advice. So yeah, I know we have liability insurance, but that's not the point. We're trying to, be a team player. So in the blockchain development and innovative tech side, you have not just the geographic area of being in Maryland, you have an international community. So if this company who's incorporated in Maryland is doing business in the EU, they have to understand all the various challenges that are for an online business there. Or, if let's say in South America, there are companies that don't require the same AML requirements that our community does. Do you tell the client, well, just do what you are going to do in South America and don't do, and I'm not pointing a finger there, except that someone brought it up today because I was about to go and they said some of the countries there are not following the rules. So, again, my go-to is always do the strictest rule, follow the strictest rules, and then you will be the safest in any community that you go to. But you have to so in answer to your question, that's my first thing, over the next year is to reach more lawyers or accountants who are just new to this space to kind of help them understand where to go. If they can't get to the conferences, how do they educate themselves? And then the second thing that I know that I want to do with BLI is to have a successful first year hackathon and make that duplicate in the next year. I see this as career development for so many people, and I'm really excited about, we have some volunteers who are helping us with this hackathon that are just phenomenal. Both their energy and their insight, in terms of what they want to do with this. So I'm excited to make this successful for them as well as for everyone else. And then the third, thing with BLI is really to continue answering the questions that some of the members and others in the community shoot over to us and say, what about this? What do you know about this? Because really, whether it's the Digital Asset Regulatory Authority, which is another project that we're co-managing, where we're advising attorney generals, or, putting the different lunch and learns with the Maryland Blockchain Association, it's all the same package. It's all about education, empowerment, encouraging creativity. And, for me, my creativity is my writing. So the blockchain, adventure stories through the Bitcoin Cinderella. And I know that I still have one more that I have to do this year that I promised a number of women that I interviewed 2 years ago. It's the Bitcoin Cinderella and the True Stories of Women in Bitcoin. I have about 20 women that I interviewed that have a phenomenal background history, and I feel, I have to get that done this year. And so I know that next year in 2026, we're probably also going to have a Maryland Blockchain Conference. Because there's never been a conference in Maryland just for blockchain. So I know that we're talking to different universities about that. So it's integrated with BLI because that's who I am, but it's, as I've said I've said it over the past week, and it sort of makes sense. All of 3 of my companies are like kids. So it's like one mom, 3 kids, and they're all different kids with different personalities, growing in different ways. And so you have to nurture them in different ways. But they all, are fun for me. So that's what I see for the next year.
Fantastic. Yeah, good for you. This is a really ambitious mission. Let's resume. You said, first of all, connect more lawyers, attract them to the LBI to be a part of this nonprofit, giving a lot for a nonprofit. All my respect. I saw the report you are sharing. The content is a lot of work, a lot of data. The second part, of course, continuing the education and bringing more women in the ecosystem. We need more women. And people, they forget. We talk about technology. The first coder is a woman, right? So we need to put this machism in the side and focusing in the reality. And the third, of course, is bringing like a real differentiation today to make the technology less intimidating, if I can say that. So
Yeah.
all my respect, Jackie. This is super positive. Organizing the event in Maryland will be great. Keeping the open relation in North America between Canada, US, and this is important. There is no politics here. There is only collaboration for human benefits. So thank you so much. I'll share a lot of data with this podcast, and this podcast will be also listed in LinkedIn and other other platform. So anyone looking for connect with Jackie, she's accessible, she's open. LBI also, you have the links. The hackathon is open for everyone, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. And it's always so much fun to speak with you. And I know that we're going to see each other at the next conference.
For sure. Thank you so much, Jackie.
Thank you.